What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Welcome to the World Sports Podcast. I'm your boy John, along with my fellas Eddie and Braxton. Man, how y'all doing today, fellas?
Feeling great, man. Feeling great. Excited to be here. Power feeling, man.
Yeah, man. Good vibes today. Good vibes for sure.
Combine both of y'all names, man. I ain't meant to do that, but we're gonna go ahead, man. We had a Monday night game last night, so we can go ahead and hop right into it, man. The Texans pulled off a 30-6 win. It wasn't always pretty, but they got the job done in the end, man. What was y'all thoughts on y'all team going on the road and getting y'all first road playoff victory in franchise history?
Hey, like John said, it was not pretty, especially in that first half, man. But that defense, man, I'm first one to just give a shout out to that defense. No more defense in the league, and one of the best in NFL history, bro. Like without the defense, it would have been a pretty ugly game. More than it already was, bro. In that first half, we just couldn't get a rhythm. CJ, I don't know what was going on with him yesterday. That's the first time I actually seen CJ play as bad as he did. Like just with the ball security, bro. Because he was just doing dumb stuff, bro. Like he was just fumbling the ball, not catching the snap. They weren't on the same page. He started panicking and just throwing it up. Like that's not the CJ I'm accustomed to seeing. So maybe he was just nervous. I think the concussion really messed with him. But he definitely got to play better moving forward. Because defense they hopefully they do play that just every game, but we definitely need a better showing out of CJ for sure to win the Super Bowl and make a run. But that defense is very special, bro. Shout out to them. I can't say nothing else. The Texans, D'Amico, he got them boys, he got everybody ready to go. It was a great sight for me to see. And the stat that our first road win, it's because we have a lot of home playoff games. So I feel like that's like kind of misleading, and we only been established since '02. So I feel like you say with that what you want, but I just all the antics up to during the game, bro. I just wanted them boys to go out there and hoop, bro, and they did. So they found a way to win. That's all that matters in the playoffs. But moving forward, CJ, I need you to play better, brother.
Yeah, I agree with a lot of the things that you were saying. I think it was a great win for the Texans. I know you're not making much of it being their first road win, but I think that's a big deal considering, you haven't had one in franchise history. And not only that, but, it's the first road win of the D'Amico Ryans era. And I think if it defines this era in a way. We're doing things that we've never done mostly in our franchise history, and I like that was being done under D'Amico Ryans. As far as the game, I definitely have to say I was not pleased with the quarterback play at all. I mean, this is the type of situations win or go home. We need our quarterback to be on his A game, and he just wasn't. And I will say he did make plays on third down, but other than that, I mean, he definitely put us in jeopardy. This looked like for much of the game that it was going to be one of those typical Texans losses where, the offense just can't get it going. And then at some point, the Steelers was going to score something and then it was going to be different. But the defense showed up, like you said, Eddie. And I'm happy that they did. This is probably an all-time performance for that defense. And it's definitely – they definitely putting themselves up there with one of the best defenses of all time for sure.
Yeah, man. Last night I told y'all, I was like, man, y'all should be glad that it's a team game because the defense really stepped up and helped y'all out, and because the offense wasn't really lacking, in my opinion. It was just CJ made some mistakes that he normally doesn't make, and I told y'all last night, in order for y'all to win next week's game, he gonna have to play a lot better, much better, because you make those type of mistakes against the Patriots, they bound to make you pay for it. The Steelers have been an offense that wasn't, really good all year round, and it kind of showed last night. Their inconsistencies because they only scored 6 points. But in my opinion, and I don't know if y'all feel the same way. I'm kind of just speaking from the outside looking in. I feel like this is one of the best teams y'all have had in a couple of years. Even with the, missing Tank Dell on the offense side of the ball, some of these pieces, like we seen last night with Christian Kirk and the two rookies and, Hutchinson, they stepped up in a big way, especially once Nico Collins went down. They still found a way to pull it off. I think Christian Kirk kind of took it upon himself to be that playmaker for C.J. Stroud. But I really think that the defense they played well last night. I think if I'm not mistaken, I saw the press conference with D'Amico Ryans. He said it was the best performance from a defense in franchise history. Albeit, Eddie said they only been a franchise since '02, but that's something to say when you been established for 20 plus years and your defense came up big on a night like that for y'all. But I do think looking forward to next week against the Patriots, bro. That Nico Collins injury is going to be big for y'all. He's going to be out with a concussion, so chances of him playing next week is probably slim to none, especially being a short week. But I was real impressed by y'all defense last night. And as far as the Steelers go, man, I just don't know what to say. I do think that's Aaron Rodgers' last go round. With Mike Tomlin, I guess it's to be seen what's going to happen with him.
I think it's time for him to just let go. I think because I don't think I don't think they go fire him just like because they made the playoffs. Just the respect they have for him. But like, do y'all think that he could be done? And if so, will he go to another team or he quits?
I feel like they're not gonna fire him because that's not the franchise that they are. They only had 3 head coaches throughout the history of their franchise, so I don't see them firing him. But I do feel like he got one more year on this deal. I think he would play out that 1 year on that deal before he walk away. Before he decide to walk away and move on. That's just me personally. Kind of knowing the type of coach he is. I feel like he's gonna coach his deal out, and then he will walk away. I don't think that he will walk away knowing that he got a year left on his deal to get to the Steelers.
I don't see him coaching any other team other than the Steelers, only for the simple fact, he's got so much history there, and I just couldn't see him really. He's already solidified his career. What more do you have to prove? You won a championship. You got a winning career. What you gonna do? Win somewhere else? I get that's like that's something that you might want to do, but it's not also realistic sometimes in certain situations. You got to build a new culture. The players might not work with you, so I don't know. What do you think, Eddie?
Like I said, I don't think they'll fire him because like the respect they have. I do think he could stay in the league. I feel like it's a for what? Like if A-Rod retire, which I think he will, it's like he got to go out and find another quarterback situation. If not, then they just go be a average team, because they always have problem at the quarterback position. And he finally got after Big Ben, he finally got A-Rod, Hall of Famer, and then this is as far as they went with him. So I just don't know. Like for him, I don't think he in the best situation to win. So I don't know. I think he got some thinking to do if he want to just move on with his career or just make a trade or make something happen to get him a quarterback and win now mode. Because I think, like John said, with this 1 year left on his contract, I think at this, if he's not done already, then he will be after next year.
Honestly though, I feel like maybe it is time for a new voice in Pittsburgh though. They've had winning seasons, but at the same time, they also haven't won a playoff game in what 9 years, 9 years I think. It's been
Yeah.
9 years since they won a playoff game, bro. So at this point, it's like, what more can he do? At this point, I feel like they're just gonna be an average team if they don't go out and get a top of the market quarterback. Because to be honest, they haven't found a quarterback that has stabilized the franchise since Big Ben left. And even before that, Big Ben was on his latter days, and he probably should have left earlier than he did. So I don't know, man. I think it's time for change. Because 9 years, Pittsburgh, albeit everybody's happy that Mike Tomlin has winning records and he goes to the playoffs. But if you lose in the first round, those fans not gonna be happy about that because they're used to championships, and they haven't won a championship since 2010. So I know they can't be too happy about that.
Yeah, and it's a classic case of organizations getting stale with the coaching situation. We seen what happened in Baltimore. Right as we was getting off the air last week, John Harbaugh got fired, and I think it's a situation which you may be a winning coach, you may be doing all the things that you need to do to get to the playoffs, but if you're not taking that next step, you could definitely be in position to get fired, and so that's just the kind of league that we're in right now. But moving on, y'all got any thoughts on John Harbaugh?
Man, not really. I tell people all the time, nothing lasts forever. All good things come to an end. Honestly, it would have been. You gotta think about it like this: if that kicker Tyler Luke would have made that field goal, we wouldn't even be having this discussion. Maybe we'd be talking about Mike Tomlin out the door versus John Harbaugh. But I do feel like, maybe it was time. He was there for 18 years. Maybe it was time for the ownership to be like, they're looking for a different direction to go. I mean, I feel like maybe they might have maxed out their ceiling, making it to the AFC Championship game and coming up short to Kansas City. And they haven't really reached, the pinnacle of getting a Super Bowl again, which is ultimately their goal. So maybe it is. That's what it was supposed to be. I do feel like he's gonna get another job soon because that's the type of coach he is. He's probably the top candidate on the market right now. So I don't feel like he's gonna be out of out of a job long.
Yeah, for me, I just think it was kind of messed up because like I said last week, it wasn't his fault, but I understand like as an organization they feel like John said they probably reached the pinnacle, so I feel like it was time for change in their opinion. Knowing that he had a Lamar Jackson and a Derrick Henry right there for why them two Hall of Famers right there, and that's how far he can go with them. Is just shows you like maybe it is time for change, but Harbaugh is not all on him. But I do think he will be the coach of either the Giants. I think the Giants are the best situation for him. They have the most weapons for him, and I think he can do the most with them quickly. So either them or the Browns. But I don't see him going to a division route. If that would be crazy if that was to happen. But
Yeah,
see that.
Y'all know how I felt about the situation. I've been calling for it, John Harbaugh job all year. So, I mean, hey, I don't have no hard feelings to the situation. I felt like he should have been fired maybe last year. I mean, I think, him and Lamar just hadn't been gelling. And it makes sense why when we played Lamar Jackson, they asked him about John Harbaugh. He really didn't have an answer. He just said, "Oh, I'm just so shook up by everything that's going on right now." And I think it's because that situation has probably gotten worse. I've heard some things that maybe the offensive coordinator was playing the middleman between the coach and Lamar because they wasn't coming to agreement a lot of times. So I think when that situation gets stale, you got to move on. And who you gonna give up? The coach that haven't won you nothing in 10 years, or the quarterback who's got you all these MVPs and things like that? More often than not, the coach is gonna be the one to go. So that's just the situation.
I hate when things. I ain't gonna spend too long on this, but I hate when things like this happen. Coaches get fired, and then you hear all these reports coming out about what's been going on behind the scenes, and because you never know what to believe. Like you don't know if it's true or not because you got these sources, but who's to say that these sources are right? Because I seen like Bryce said, um, about John Harbaugh and the offensive coordinator. Well, Todd Monken came out and on an interview and he was like, he never really sensed a problem with Lamar or any other players that John Harbaugh had, and he said that a lot of the reports that's coming out is baseless in terms of facts. So I don't know. It's always hard to know what's true and what's not true. You kind of just gotta pick and kind of pick and choose on what you believe, I guess. But it's always every time a coach get fired, it's always or it wasn't something this wasn't going right or this wasn't going right. But you don't hear nothing about that when the coach is in house and they winning games. It's always that's crazy. But moving on, man. This next game was kind of a stinker, man. The Chargers and the Patriots was on Sunday Night Football. The Patriots won 16-3. It was mainly a defensive game, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. I didn't spend much time watching this game because when I looked at the score, it was like 3 to something in the third quarter. I was like, yeah, I'm not watching this. But man, what was y'all thoughts on this game? How y'all think it went? And what y'all think on about y'all opponent coming up for the divisional round?
For me, yeah. Now Brack said the earlier game was gonna be a stinker with the Panthers and the Rams, but this was the real stinker of the day. So I was very surprised with this being the last game. We having great games throughout the day. I was expecting another great game, but I was very disappointed with this game highly, and as well as everybody else was. This was a true stinker, bro. The Chargers, I really can't put too much blame on them, but Herbert, he had, they like to just let him fly under the radar, which I don't like because he is one of the top quarterbacks. He just can't get it done in the playoffs. But I will give him a slight because he didn't have a fully healthy team. With his tackles being hurt, running back, running back problems. But he's there. You got to make do what you got. So I don't want to give him too much leeway, but there are conversations that need to be had about Herbo. So we got Justin. We didn't get Herbo that night, like Brack said. We definitely got Justin. But on the Patriots side, bro, I'm not too high on the Patriots. I never was. I just they had a weak schedule, but we going to their house next week, so Drake May, he got to play a better game if he want to win. But as a Texans fan, I hope he plays like he did this weekend. And, Texans play on defense like they did, and offense has a way better game than we put out yesterday.
Yeah, I watched the game actually. I was at work watching the game, and I was looking up. I'm like, all right, man. Eventually, the Chargers gonna do something, but they didn't do much. Yeah, we definitely didn't get Jay Herbo. We got Mr. Herbert, and it wasn't what I expected. I thought that the Chargers would put up some fight, but they didn't. But I will say, man, both of those quarterbacks was getting hit in this game, boy. I mean, like, they offensive lines was not doing great, and if it was that kind of game, and you told me that before the game started, I probably would have took the Patriots simply because Justin Herbert is dealing with an injury. His hand is literally broke. So I think that played a factor in it. The Patriots, I will say, is big for them. They haven't had a playoff win in a minute. And so for them to get that win under Drake May, I think that's big for his confidence moving forward. But we'll see if that pays dividends when he plays the Texans. They're gonna be without Christian Gonzalez, so I mean, we'll see what that's like. But we are also without Nico Collins, so I mean, he's got a concussion situation, so it could level out. But we'll see what happens in that matchup.
They ruled him out already.
Who? Nico?
No, Gonzalez.
Yeah, they ruled him out yesterday because he's got a concussion.
Right.
Whoa! You wishing on injury?
No, I'm saying no. But Nico, I don't know if Nico out though. Like they ain't said that yet. I just think
Nico is out.
Nico had 2 concussions last night. They let him go one, but I don't think he's gonna play. But I didn't know that Christian Gonzalez was gonna be out. I think that kind of levels the playing field for y'all a little bit, because y'all number one receiver gonna be out and they number one corner gonna be out. So I kind of feel good about y'all chances now. Knowing that he's gonna be out.
Whoa! So you didn't feel good before?
I ain't gonna say that I didn't feel good about your chances. I feel better about y'all chances, knowing that I feel better about y'all chances. But like I said, I didn't really watch that game much. I heard that Drake May had a up and down game, and I just seen the highlights of Justin Herbert, and that defensive line was getting after him, bro. Especially when they closed out the game with Milton Williams. He kind of blew Herbert up, and then he got on the sideline, bumping heads with his coach, and hit his coach all in the mouth and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, man. But as far as looking ahead to the next game, to next week's game with y'all and them, I feel like that's going to be a defensive game. I feel like it's going to be a defensive game, bro. I'm be honest. I don't expect a lot of points to be put up in that game. I don't know who I give the edge to right now. It's a toss-up. But if I'm expecting it to be a defensive game, I'm gonna go with the team that has the better defense, and I'm gonna go with y'all because from what I seen last night, right, that defense could carry y'all a long way, dog. It could carry y'all a long way. So my early prediction for that game is that y'all gonna go in there and win. But I don't know which way it's gonna go, truthfully though. But it's gonna be a good game. I like to see 2 defenses compete.
I will say this. I do think it's going to be a defensive battle, but I have to believe that C.J. Stroud is going to be due for a good game. I mean, that's probably the worst game I've ever seen him play. And so I don't think it'll get worse than that. And if he can do better than that, and which I think he'll do good, I think that'll give us a good chance as well. But it's yet to be seen. So.
Hold on now. It has been seen. Now, we ain't going to do that because we have great playoff games before. Now, this was
year one.
Huh?
I'm saying, yeah, exactly. I'm saying this season, I want to see the C.J. Stroud that we drafted in the first year, and he was doing things up.
CJ had a couple good games. We're not doing that, bro. He had a couple good games.
Playoff game, though. We talking about playoff games.
But we ain't going to play one game. He said in the season. That's what he just said.
I'm speaking overall. I haven't seen a good playoff game from him since year one.
Year two?
Year two, he had a decent playoff game.
With no wide receivers.
He had a decent, but see, that's the thing though. How do you have everything at your disposal? The best defense, good wide receiving group. The run game
No,
was
we not
running the
healthy at
ball.
wide
We
receiver.
got.
Hold
I'm not about
on.
to sit here and make excuses for him not having wide receivers because we seen what
Exactly.
Josh Allen just did. We seen what Josh Allen
Bro,
did.
we talk about different. No, we're not doing that, bro. We're talking about the
We
text. We're not
seen
talking
what
about nobody else, bro. No.
we seen
And
what Josh
Josh
Allen did.
Allen is a different conversation. They have a different offense, John. We're not doing that, bro. We
Right,
don't
they
have.
both play, do they not both play? Do
We
they
don't have
not
a
both
mobile
play
QB, bro.
quarterback? Do they not both
We
play
don't have a
quarterback?
mobile QB, bro.
Do
We
they
got
not
a pocket passer,
If you're a good quarterback, you're gonna make do with what you got. That's
and
all
he
I'm saying.
does.
He has a lot.
You
He has
just
a
said
lot.
he didn't
He
play
don't have a
good
lot, Bryce. We
defense.
gotta stop doing it. He don't got a lot. He has a few weapons. Now he missing two great weapons now. Don't do that
He
now.
has
Three
no.
now.
Because okay, hold on. Listen, you saying all of that, but he has something that most quarterbacks wish they had: a defense that will literally not give up points. They don't give
You
up
got no
points,
more receivers.
and then not only that, but you got a good wide receiver group. Even Troy Aikman was saying on the broadcast yesterday, it's Nico Collins and it's others, but the others are really good. Like this is a good wide receiving group, and not only that, but the run game was running last night. Like everything was working, and so
No,
that's why I just don't like when you make excuses for the man. Like he's got to play good.
I'm not making. I did not make any excuses with CJ. Did I? I said accountability. Did I not last night, bro? I said this was the worst game I've seen CJ play. Did I not just say that, bro? I'm not making excuses for him, bro. I'm just saying, y'all know it's my guy. So when it's hard for me to even say this. So I'm being.
That's the problem. That's the problem.
Listen, I always be 100, bro. I'm never picking sides, bro. I keep 100. From it don't matter what it is, bro. I'm always real about it, bro. CJ, he played bad last night, but we're not gonna act like he wasn't getting the ball out to the guys, bro. He may do what he had, but like it's just the ball security. If he don't have any fumbles and any the interception, then he have a great game. Do he not?
He did. He had no. See, and that's the thing. I'm not cool with that. After the press conference, he said, "I thought I had a good game. I just was turning the ball over." But at the end of that type of game, I don't need to hear you saying you had a good game. You did not have a good game. You had a bad game.
You're right.
And until you could. Protecting the ball is a part of having a good game. I don't want to hear that from my quarterback.
No way he said he had a good game.
He said he had a good game.
I ain't see
like,
that.
what
I
are
ain't
we
see
talking
that.
about?
I don't agree with that.
What are we talking about?
That was the worst game I've seen him play for real. Like I did not. I was not in the playoffs. CJ always his games always goes up. So I was very disappointed and shocked what I saw last night. And he better clean that up, bro. And that was a horrible game. I do not agree with what he said. I do agree with Bryce on that, but like I didn't make excuses, but I'm just saying what real what happened. So he definitely got to clean it up. Are we in agreement with that? And he had to play better, bro.
Yeah, sure. He got to play better for sure. And
I too.
Yeah, but see, you don't get on him. You don't get on.
I ain't said nothing on this podcast about Kaimi Fairbairn all year. They know what's out of him on, bro.
Kaimi played good, man. He just missed that one.
We can't have that moving forward.
That one kick,
yeah. And we can't have a damn
accountability, bro.
Quarterback playing like that either. We can't. So
you right. So Kaimi Fairbairn,
he
missed a critical field goal. He missed the extra point, bro.
Exactly. We missing gimmies, bro. Can't have
y'all was up by 80 points, nigga.
No matter. They come at the hunters. You never know, bro. Every point matters.
Man, we go move on.
No, we say we're not gonna make excuses, bro. Accountability, bro.
All right, I'm cool with that, but as long as you don't, because you will. You do.
No, I don't.
Right. We can move on. John, next game, man. What's the next game we got?
All right, man. Next game is the Bills and the Jags, man. Josh Allen went down to Jacksonville, got it done on the road, something that he hadn't done in a while. What was y'all thoughts on that game? 27-24. That's all I got to say. What's y'all thoughts on that game?
I think this was the best game on the AFC side for sure. Josh Allen, he did come to play. He made plays when needed to be. But I was very I like what I saw from Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars, man. They had the game, man. It just came up a little short, man. Josh Allen, the tush pushes, and you just can't stop it, bro. It's hard, very hard to stop. They made the final plays to get it done. So shout out to the Jaguars, man. They had a great season though. They can't play in the playoffs, and it was a little short, man. So I was very proud of Trevor Lawrence. I would definitely want to give him his flowers, but Josh Allen, this everybody talk about this is his moment. This is his year to win. He got to play he got to continue to play up to this part. Keep having his guys involved. I already got too much to say, bro. He just got to keep it going. If not, he gonna be at home, and they're gonna have more conversations to be had.
Fair points, man. I will say, man, I'm very proud of the performance that Josh Allen had, considering all that he was battling in this game. Uh, just from the simple fact he was getting hurt dang near every play. I mean, he came into the game with a wrist injury, I believe, and then in the game he looked like he almost got concussed. His knee was hurting and his ankle was hurting or something like that. Like it was just so much stuff going on with him, and despite all that, he still kind of fought through it with the receiving crew that he had. And that tush push that went 10 yards, it looked like. I mean, shout out to them, man. That was a good effort on that play. But
To him, John.
I said to them, I said the O line.
All right.
Yeah. Shout out to the O line. But I mean, you can give credit to him too, because he still had to battle through and push through there. So shout out to him.
John,
But,
we're not doing it, bro.
Hey man, this is my point. This is my segment. It's my turn. But shout out to Josh Allen and them. And to Trevor Lawrence, man, I did say last week that I felt like this would be his best game. But, I mean, he played decent. But a couple of them passes that he threw, it could have been picked. And it ended in the way that, typical T-Law fashion, interception to seal the game. I mean, that's just what I expect from him. But other than that, that's all I got.
Yeah, man. Shout out to the Bills. Shout out to Josh Allen, bro. He put that team on his back. Got him the dub. In typical MVP fashion, like Brack said, he was getting beat up all game. I think, if I'm not mistaken, they said he broke his finger in that game. If I'm not mistaken, I think they say he broke his finger and he still found a way to battle through it. Speaking on that tush push play, I think that might be the play that get it banned, bro. Because no way, this man did a tush push for 10 yards, bro. 10 yards. There's no way you could allow that, bro. Because it really does. It gives the offense an advantage, but it doesn't really help out the defense. You know what I'm saying? Because the offensive line is just pushing them and pushing them back. So for 10 yards, it's crazy that you get 10 yards off a tush push. But, man, as far as Trevor Lawrence goes, we want to see him be a top quarterback in this league. And, he had a good year this year. He made leaps. But, in a game like that, you got to play better than decent. You know what I'm saying? I think he threw 2 picks in that game. And then they had a chance to go down and tie the game or take the lead. And on the first play, bro, the first play, he throw it in the coverage to get tipped, and it is interception. So in those type of games, you just got to play better, man. Trevor Lawrence's career, man, I think this was his second playoff game. And, I think the first game against the Chargers, that's when we saw him throw for 3 interceptions in it was the first half, I think. And then they got down 24. It was 4 interceptions. All right, 4 interceptions in the first half. And then they got down. And he ended up coming back, and he kind of lived off that for the remainder of his career till he got back to the playoffs this time. And he just hasn't played well in the playoffs, and it's kind of crazy to think because this team was rolling going into the playoffs, and I ain't gonna say that they didn't play well, in that game against the Bills, but I feel like they could have played better as a whole, especially him. So, but I think they got a bright future going ahead. My question to y'all would be, and that has nothing to do with the game. It's strictly from, a reporter standpoint. I don't know if y'all seen what a reporter was kind of like uplifting the coach after the game, saying, they did a great job. They had an awesome season, and she just told him, like, keep going and kind of doing it, kind of like being a fan almost, like just giving them uplifting words. And you've seen a lot of reporters coming out on the internet saying that, as a reporter, you're not supposed to do that. If you're going to use those words, you got to, leave that to the fans, basically, is what they were saying. And I seen a lot of people come in defense of her, saying that what's wrong with giving, people positivity every now and then. A lot of these reporters look to be negative towards these coaches and stuff. I just wanted to get y'all thoughts on that. What y'all thought about it? Did y'all think that the reporter was out of line for uplifting him, or do y'all kind of side with everybody else saying, with the positivity and everything?
I don't think that it's anything wrong specifically for what she did, but I do think that in this situation, I see both sides of it. Like I see in this situation, she chose the ethical route, or not ethical route, the unethical route, but she still was just trying to get over to him because in this situation, he just had a crushing loss and all these people asking these negative questions about the season. And, I think she was just like trying to give him some uplift in this situation. And she chose, hey, I know it may not be the right thing to do, like ethically, but I'm gonna go ahead and just uplift this man because the whole press conference we've been talking like we didn't ain't had one of the best seasons in our whole history, and it's just like she was just trying to give him some uplift. So I wasn't opposed to it, but I will say, man, if he was having a bad day, he should have felt better after that because I mean she definitely uplifted him in that situation. But what you think, Eddie?
Um, let's be real, bro. People just like negativity, bro. They like drama. They don't want to see. They ain't coming for that. Basically, they don't want to hear all the nice stuff. They want to get to the meat and potatoes, bro. So, for me personally, I don't agree with like the fans getting mad at that, but I understand it because they ain't come here to hear about that after the game. They want to know what you gonna do, what happened, what was you thinking, all that stuff. But players they human, bro. Everybody got feelings, bro. Like so, I applaud the reporter for being being in that way and just showing love because that's very rare. And players they like even like we could throw it back to the Russell Westbrook interview when no everybody talking about Russ, there was this one report that said, he came out and you're the best rebounding point guard ever, and he was like, wow, man, like he's like you just show like the appreciation in that moment, and in like this situation, they just give him him and flowers. So I just feel like we need more of that, but I understand that as a reporter, like you there for a job to ask questions, not just say how good you were, or just pat you on the back. So I get both sides, like Brett said, but this is just it just show how the world is, bro. It's negativity. They love it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I ain't have no problem with what she did, bro. I understand, with journalism ethics, you're supposed to stay what it is, subjective, not, so you're supposed to be in that middle ground. So I understand that part about it, but maybe he needed some positivity in that moment. This is one of the best seasons that they had in a long, long time. I think the second most wins in franchise history. So, you know, I don't have a problem with her letting them know, they did a great job and, just giving them some kind words. So I mean, it is what it is. But a lot of the reporters wasn't happy about that, and it was calling for her, credentials to get taken and stuff like that, not knowing that this lady been in the game for years and years and years. So she
I
knew
was
what she.
about to say that. I was about to say that she probably the reason why she probably uplifted him like that is because she probably know more than a lot of the people and know what's going on behind the scenes and know that how people talk about him behind the scenes. And so I'm sure she felt like there was a need to say that, and maybe it wasn't the right thing to say or right way to say it, but she definitely was trying to get that over to him. But I got a question for y'all though, because now we know that the Bills are going on the road to face the Broncos. Who do y'all like in that matchup?
In that game, I'm not a believer in Bo Nix, as y'all know, but that defense is the second best defense in the league, and defense do win championships. So I feel like if they get to Josh Allen and they just do what they've been doing all year, Benito, and Sertan lock up, and then they got the front guys on that D line, and the other opposite of my boy Sertan. So I just feel like that defense come out to play and shut down the Bills. I feel like they could get the edge, and Bo Nix can get them in field goal position. They can hit a couple field goals, maybe one touchdown. I don't see Bo Nix having a great day. Honestly, bro, I feel like it's gonna be a defensive game for them. And if Josh Allen had one of Josh Allen days, then I got them for sure. But I hope the Broncos win because I like us in that matchup a lot. I like us in Bills too, but I would rather play the
I'm about to
Broncos.
say, did you not see what y'all did to the Bills at the beginning
Yeah,
of the beginning season?
but I like us better. I feel like that would be a easier game. Knock on wood. That's
Y'all would
hard
have
to twice.
y'all would have to go to Mile High though, so that would be interesting. I'm gonna go with. I don't know who I'm gonna go with. Honestly, that's a toss up for me, but I feel like Broncos offense hasn't been consistent enough for me. So I feel like it depends on what offense we're gonna see out of the Broncos on in that game. I do feel like Josh Allen is gonna have a harder time than he had against the Jaguars just because the Broncos lead the league in sacks, and they also have Sertan that's gonna lock up their best receiver. So I feel like he's gonna have a harder time. But it all comes down to what offense we're gonna see from Denver Broncos. Are we gonna see the good offense? Or are we gonna see the offense that struggles? Bo Nix struggles. It all comes down to Bo Nix, in my opinion. So I'm gonna leave it at that.
Yeah, I'm gonna go on to say like you said, it's all going to depend on which offense the Broncos have. If they have the offense that can compete with top tier teams, it's going to be a good matchup. But even in that matchup, I still got Josh Allen pulling off the impossible. So,
This guy.
Moving on, bro. Moving on. 49ers and Eagles, man. The 49ers pulled out the road win against the Eagles. AJ Brown and Nick Sirianni fussing on the sideline. Offense didn't look great, man. What was y'all thoughts on that game?
Hey, bro, Eagles lost my money, bro. I'm not a fan of what I saw on Sunday. AJ Brown, you talk all this stuff all year. You complain and you doing all the drama, all the antics, and you drop the ball, gang. That's not acceptable. Accountability. You gotta have some looks in the mirror with yourself before you come out there. Get to reading books on the sideline and then yelling at the coaches and just crying, bro. You got the ball and you dropped it. I don't want to talk no more, bro. They lost my money, bro.
My thoughts on it. I definitely was not impressed with the Eagles' performance. But like I've been telling people, the flaws that you have in the regular season, they show up at their biggest in the playoffs. So I feel like that's what kind of happened in this situation. You seen the Eagles kind of struggling to finish drives, and they could get away with doing certain things and certain like offensive struggles that they was having. People wasn't making no issues about it because they was winning. But eventually, this is why people talk about these things, because they're gonna show up in the playoffs. And I feel like that was just a simple case of what happened in this game. So what you got? What you got, John?
Yeah, man. The offensive playmakers did not show up. The defense showed up. Quinyon Mitchell had 2 interceptions on Brock Purdy, but
Saquon.
Huh?
He
Saquon.
said Saquon.
I said Quinyon Mitchell.
I'm saying, you said the offense did nobody. Saquon had a great
Oh,
game.
yeah, Saquon did show up. He did have a good game rushing the ball. But I'm talking about from an aspect of Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown. That connection wasn't there, and it really hasn't been there all season. The defense showed up. Like I said, Quinyon Mitchell had two interceptions. But it's gonna be some changes gonna have to go on in Philadelphia, especially. I think the offensive coordinator gonna be out. I think they're gonna go a different direction with that, and that's gonna be Hurts' 12th different play caller since college, bro, which is absurd to hear. But yeah, man, shout out to the 49ers, though. They found a way to get it done, even with George Kittle going down with that Achilles injury, man. So the Niners live to fight on for another game. The Eagles, like Brack said, when you have those issues, they're going to always really hit in the playoffs when it matters the most.
Before we move on to the next game, I just want to say that Brock Purdy had 2 interceptions.
Yeah, I pointed that out.
Yeah.
Quinyon Mitchell had 2 interceptions on it.
Yeah, Brock Purdy.
Moving on, man.
Hold on. Like what is your point? What is your point? Are you saying that to say what? They won the game? I mean, what?
2 interceptions, bro. That's bad. That's bad quarterback play.
It's the playoffs.
We can move on. He sucked.
Your quarterback had 4 fumbles.
He threw 1 interception.
4 fumbles and 1 interception. Two lost fumbles and 1 interception. So does that mean your quarterback sucked? Did that mean your quarterback sucked?
But you see, I mean, I'm just hoping the fans see what be going on. That's all I want.
What's going on?
You make narratives for the people you like. We know that. Come on, man. It's okay.
Of course, bro.
I'm a realist, bro. That's it. That's all it's it.
Bro,
that's okay.
Everybody changed their narratives to fit their story, bro. But
all right, moving on to the next game with the Rams and Panthers.
To the Bears and Packers.
We got the Bears and the Packers next. The Bears
and Packers, man.
They do it.
Packers was up 21. They scored 21 points in the first half. I think the score at halftime was 21-6. And then they scored 6 points the rest of the game, and the Bears let it come back, man. What's your thoughts on that game? How y'all feel about the Packers, laying an egg in the second half?
I wasn't surprised, they got to come. They playing against the comeback kids, bro. I don't know what's going on, but Caleb Williams, he when they down 20 plus, that's when all right, game starts now, and he gets to doing his thing, I think that's when he played the best when he behind, bro. But I think he need to go ahead and just play like that from the get-go. He played like that from the get-go, and they put themselves in way better positions to win the game and be more comfortable throughout the game. But with ours, they got it done. Jordan Love, second half, he came out there like John said and laid the egg. So they got to go out and figure that. He got to figure that out for next year. and Michael Parsons get back, and they probably put themselves in a better position. But not that happened this year.
Mm. I I mm, I don't know, man. This is an interesting game right here, man. I will say this. Caleb Williams, he definitely showed me, man. Like he can definitely compete in top tier games. I didn't expect him to pull it out. Pause. But he definitely
Great
did.
balls.
But he definitely showed up in this game. I definitely was impressed with some of the throws he made, especially that one where the defense was like all on him, and he made a throw. It's fourth down. It's one of those you gotta have it, and he got it. So shout out to him and Roma Dunze. And man, this is just like the kickers, man. They really playing a big factor in this playoffs right now, especially with the Packers kicker missing his kick, and it just gave them a little bit of a window to win the game, and they ended up doing so. So shout out to them, man. What's your thoughts, John?
Yeah, I ain't gonna spend too much on it because I had the Packers on my ticket, man, and they blew it. I was feeling good in the first half, bro. Telling my guys before the game, I told my homeboy, I'm like, man, look, they asked me who they should pick. Good, I'm like, man, look, the Packers gonna win, bro. Trust me on that. The Packers gonna win. So first half, I'm feeling good. I'm texting them. I say, didn't I tell y'all the Packers gonna win? Da da da, bam. Then turn around and they lay an egg like that in the second half. Brandon McManus, you shouldn't even have a job after that performance, bro. You missed field goals, you missed extra points. Even if he'd have made that extra point, they probably would have had a chance at tying the game and going to overtime. But instead, they had to drive down the field and try to get a touchdown. And we seen how that went with Jordan Love, and they had penalties and all kind of other stuff on that drive. So it wasn't great for the Packers, man. But shout out to Caleb Williams getting the job done, leading his team on a comeback. I think he really stepped up in the second half. After he was mainly frustrated in the first half. They kept showing shots of him on the sideline. He yelling at the coaches, yelling at his teammates, like just flat out frustrated. And then he go out there and he put on a great performance in the second half to get his team a win. So shout out to him, man. But the Green Bay Packers, man, y'all are terrible, bro. Just blew my money like that. Just terrible.
Hey, you ain't the only one, bro. It's all right, bro.
All right, man. Moving on to the last and final game, man. The Rams and the Panthers. I'm not gonna lie, I fell asleep midway through this game. I woke up and I'm like, man, my ticket hit. I'm looking at the ticket. I'm like, man, my ticket hit, man. But I heard that Matthew Stafford went down and got his team the lead, and with a touchdown, and Bryce Young just kept fighting and keeping his team in the game. Y'all let me know, because like I said, I fell asleep. How was Bryce Young's performance? Do y'all feel like he played well in that game to give his team a chance?
I would say at the beginning, it looks a little scary, but I thought it's gonna be one of them days and he forgot to put on Rod Wave, and he's come out there and have a horrible day. But he definitely picked it up in the second quarter to close out strong, and then in the second half, he was hitting his guys, bro. So I definitely want to give a shout out to Bryce. He did come out and he hooped. He played a great game in the second half, and just keeping them in it. And they was up. Matthew Stafford had reel his guys back in. They had to clutch up, and they did, bro. The Rams they got away with murder, boy. They was lucky. They was lucky. They won by the skin of their teeth, bro. So shout out to Bryce Young and the Panthers for their efforts. They didn't have a great season, but they made it in playoffs over John's team, and it just it shows you that you're never out of the fight. So they kept fighting to the end, and they just came up short, just like the Jaguars. But I like the Rams going forward, and on the Bears, I like them versus the Bears. But can't count out the comeback kids, bro.
Hey, Bryce, notice how we were nowhere near the playoffs, and Eddie still found a way to mention that.
Hey,
That's
man.
That's how we live rent free in his head, brother.
No, they don't. I promise you, these boys ain't rent free. That's it.
we live rent free in his head.
Man. If there's one thing I could count on is Eddie hating on the Saints, man. But that's another topic for another day. I will say this: I would like to issue a formal apology to the Carolina Panthers organization. Last week, I said it was going to be a stinker. y'all put up a little performance, man. So shout out to them. I really didn't expect this to be that good of a game, but I didn't expect Bryce Young to play as good as he did for those first 3 quarters and part of the fourth quarter. So shout out to him, man. The Rams are in trouble, and I'm gonna say this why. I'm gonna say this is the reason why. They always play down to their opponent, and eventually that's gonna get you caught up. And I think eventually they're gonna have to realize what type of team they want to be, because this ain't gonna do it. Y'all should have beat the Panthers like easily, but this is the type of team that y'all are. Y'all gonna play down, and if y'all gonna play down, one of these teams gonna play up to y'all. So I mean, hey, it's eventually it's gonna happen. That's how I think.
So who you got?
And I got the Bears winning this. I ain't gonna lie. I got the Bears. They got to
Yeah.
go on the road to Chicago.
That don't matter, bro.
I don't see it, brother. I don't see it.
Okay. I'll die on this hill alone. That's cool.
I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see the Bears making it to the NFC Championship. I just don't see it.
Hey, but I ain't gonna lie, John. You can't count nobody out, bro. It's playoffs. Any given Monday, any given Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, whenever they play, brother. So I don't know, but I will put my money on the Rams for sure.
Yeah, that sounds good, but guess what? The Bears ain't playing Jordan Love. They playing Matt Stafford.
No. They can't start the way that they started last week for sure. They gotta put up some points early.
I don't think he'll come back from that. He better start early.
Right. But
all right, man. That's all we got for the recap of the Wild Card Weekend, man. Coming up next after the break, we're gonna talk about the national championship game that's coming up between Indiana and Miami. We're gonna talk a little LSU women's basketball and get into the transfer portal a little bit. And we may even throw some NBA at you, man. Y'all keep it locked right here. Don't want to miss it. Welcome to the World of Sports. We'll be back.
welcome back to the Welcome to the World of Sports podcast, man. The championship game is set. We know who it's going to be. We got one team who I would not have expected to be here, and we got another team who I also would not have expected to be here. So we got the number 10 Miami facing number 1 Indiana in the College Football National Championship at Hard Rock Stadium. Oh, man, Miami in their own building hosting it, man. How y'all feel about that? And who do y'all think will win this week?
I'm going with the U, baby. Going with the U, baby. They're at home, man. I think that home field advantage gonna play a big role in that game. I think that they have the defense to limit Fernando Mendoza in that game. It's gonna be about what can they do on offense. They try to run the game. Run the ball. They try to run the ball. Indiana has a great defense. They play technically sound. It's gonna be interesting, bro. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be a good clash. But I'm gonna roll with the U since they got the home field advantage.
Yeah, man. This is very, very weird saying this because neither of these teams supposed to be here.
Right.
Maybe Indiana, but for me, I was expecting to see my boys Ohio State Buckeyes in there, but Miami, they beat them. So any team that beat my pick gotta be some kind of a threat, So, but I would say Miami, bro, that defense is legit for sure. Carson Beck, he ain't proved nothing to me. It's just that defense, but the defense is winning games for them alone. It's scary. I ain't gonna lie, that front is front seven is scary. Ruben Bain, opposite of him, you got the other guy, bro. They a complete defense, bro. But Indiana, I'm going Indiana, bro. My fellow believer in Christ, Mendoza. He showed me a lot, but I would say this probably be his one of his biggest tests. I definitely think Ohio State defense was crazy, but I think Miami is a little bit more physical up front. So I will say this gonna be his real test for the NFL. I think because this level of defense that he's finna see is up to par with what he'll see in the NFL. So, but with that being said, I'm gonna roll with the I'm rolling Indiana, but I do think this will be a close knit game for sure.
All right. Well, I definitely agree with the fact that this will be a test. I don't know how much of a test it'll be because a lot of times in recent games, Mendoza has found a way to, get bailed out by the defense making plays and all these different things. So I mean, it's tough. It's tough for me to see if he really gonna get tested. But if he does get tested and the defense really, lock in on him, I got Miami, man. I got
Bryce a hater.
Miami. Huh?
You a hater, bro. I just want to let the fans know you don't like
Why am I a
Mendoza.
hater?
You don't like
Why?
Indiana or Mendoza at all.
I like Mendoza. I think he's a nice young man. I think he's on a bright path. I like the way he speaks to the media, but it's just I just don't believe in it. I don't believe in it. I just feel like I like their coach. I like his mentality, but as far as him as a quarterback, I just feel like things are always set up perfectly for him. I want to see what it's like when it's ugly. I told y'all that. I want to see what it's like when it's ugly. And if Miami has the best case or the best chance to make it ugly for him, and I think that's gonna be a good matchup.
My thing is, it's kind of hard to still wrap my head around Indiana being good at football, bro. That's what it is for me. Like, there's no way I feel like, and Indiana being the number one team in the country, 14-0, and they just dominating people like this. That's kind of crazy to me. But another thing I want to say is, can we please stop comparing Indiana to the 2019 LSU team, bro? Like, this is the greatest team in history of football, bro. And I'm speaking of LSU. Like, can we stop doing this, bro? Joe Burrow had 60 touchdowns that year. To 60.
That's why it's low key be pissing me off. I didn't want to say pissing me off, but that's why low key be pissing me off. Because they always want to keep bringing them up like they so damn good, and it's not even that. It's not even that, bro. Like just stop pissing me off with this, bro. Like, I'm trying not to curse this year, man.
Hey, try again next year, brother. But look, listen, y'all know it's for the clicks, bro. Don't take it to heart, bro. They gotta have some kind of comparison going on just to get the engagement. Come on, y'all know how to go, bro.
I'm with you,
We know who the best team ever. It's out of us and the O2 Miami, bro.
Hey, your own network gonna put a side by side of from
I know what's going on. Engagement.
And Joe Burrow. Like, Joe Burrow ain't throw for 60 touchdowns and 6 interceptions and 800,000 yards. Come on, man. Like,
they want comments, they want shares, they want reposts, they want. You really believe this? They want this right here. We give it to them.
I got you, man. I got you.
Yeah. But moving on, man. Sticking with college football, Lane Kiffin in Baton Rouge has got us a quarterback, man. Sam Levitt. He is committed to LSU. Man, he's also made some other moves, and considering some of the people that we wanted to get but really couldn't get because of certain situations, DeMar Williams. What do y'all think about this new acquisition?
Hey, man, I'm with Sam Levitt, man. I feel like he's gonna run Kiffin's system great. He can use his legs. If we get him back to what he was pre-injury, he gonna use his legs. He gonna make the right decision. I feel like he's a real decisive quarterback. And now we got the quarterback position sold up. I feel like we just need to go get offensive linemen now to protect him. I feel like Kiffin did a great job going in the portal and getting receivers. That receiver room is stacked and it's deep. So I think he did a great job of that. They got some pieces on the defensive side of the ball as well. I would like to see get a little more on the defensive side because it's been all about the offense that I've been seeing. But we got some good pieces on defense, and I think they're doing a great job in the portal. I don't think they're finished yet. I'm excited to see what's gonna come. As far as the DeMar Williams situation, man, that was a crazy situation of how that played out. We almost didn't get Sam Levitt because we were about to get DeMar Williams. But I think that's crazy how that played out. It just goes to show the landscape that college football is in. Like, this man signed a contract, and then a couple of days later, he decided he wanted to put his name in the transfer portal. Then he decided he was taking it out and staying. But like Eddie said, man, I think they kind of threatened him with a situation there. So, but that's crazy, man. But shout out to Kiffin, man. He's doing this thing in that portal, and I'm excited to see what we're gonna look like coming up this year.
Yeah, bro. They just bullied that boy into staying, bro. That's horrible, bro. I feel like I understand it from their end of it because we're not gonna pay you and then you sign a contract and then after you pay a little bit more money to go to a better team, you want to leave us with nothing. That our season finna go down the drain because you want to leave us and for some more money. So they threatened to stay, just for the betterment of their team. So I understand it, but it is sad to see because I was on the whole train, bro. I wanted him to come to LSU, bro. I really believe that he was a quarterback for us that could take us there. I ain't want Levitt. I say I want a Rayola. I'm not happy with this decision, but I guess it's a safe pick. But I'm not even gonna judge it. He's not my guy. I will let that be known. He's not my guy. But I guess we got to rock with him. But I do love the acquisition we made at wide receiver, bro. Got my boy Eugene from Florida and a couple more guys all over the place. But I'm very excited to see what they go do. Wide receiver you for sure is back. Defensive side, we got some heavy hitters. We got a hard hitter at the safety position. I do think we need a linebacker and a couple more D linemen though, just for like rotational pieces and people get injuries or less. I need some depth for sure, but definitely O line. But I'm happy what I'm seeing for sure.
Yeah, I definitely give them credit for this, considering how they got Levitt. Considering that you basically was kind of doing dirty business, basically like you was holding that off to try to see if you can get another quarterback, and you still find a way to land them. Like that's a good thing right there. And I will say my biggest thing about it is they're not really stopping there because Levitt has an injury history that he has, and I feel like they're gonna be able to land another quarterback to kind of like be able to be that bridge quarterback just in case Levitt isn't ready. So I think they're setting it up perfectly.
They did. They got another quarterback.
But so then with that in place, like you basically got two quarterbacks, and whoever is the better of the two, which is what I want. I want us to have options, and I think that'll be good for us. And with the other acquisitions, it'll be good too. But sticking with LSU, anybody got any other thoughts?
I was just gonna say, I got one thing to say. Even though we didn't get DeMond Williams this year, don't mean that we ain't gonna get him for years to come. I think he does have 3 years of eligibility left. So who's to say that he don't want to stay at Washington next year? We might see him at LSU next year, man. So, but we're gonna see how this year goes, man. Hopefully we be in the natty. So hopefully we ain't got to worry about DeMond Williams. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. Hopefully. But sticking with LSU, man, the Lady Tigers, man, pull off a huge upset over Texas, number 2 ranked team. It's their first win against a top 2 ranked team since 2008. It's almost like 20 years. Man, what can we say about this win? It was an up and down game, but what can y'all say about this?
Hey, bless you, Eddie. And hey, man, I gotta say, man, they must have listened to the pod. Or they must have heard us talking after the pod because we said, man, they had to have their best game in order to beat Texas. They had to come out with the A game. They had to play better than they played against Vanderbilt and Kentucky in terms of closing out games in order to win this game, and they did exactly that. Like they knew it was on the line in this game against Texas. Basically, their season, really, in my opinion, was on the line in this game. I know it's early to say that, but we also got to play. We got to go to Oklahoma this Sunday. We got to play Texas again, and we got to see South Carolina. So that game was huge, getting that win at home. And I think Kim knew what was on the line as well. She had them well prepared. Every time Texas, felt like they were gonna come back and make it a close game, LSU just kept putting the pressure on them, kept scoring points, kept turning them over. I think they had 17 turnovers. So overall, I was very impressed with that performance. And it was good to see them get a win like that. Because coming into the season, before we got in the conference play, we was talking about this maybe being the best team that Kim Mulkey has ever had at LSU. And so to see them, get a win like that, it was good to see.
I don't know about the best team at LSU and under her because I feel like they had a better team that won the Natty. But focus on the game. I just want to give a big shout out to Michaela Williams, bro. She was definitely came to play. This is the Michaela Williams that we should be seeing all season long. This is her offense, bro. Give her the ball and get out the way. Lele, we give her the ball in transition, but when it comes to running the offense, get the ball to MK, bro. Big shout out to Foe. She came to play. She been having her struggles, but she took accountability after she came out and had that horrible game. And she performed, bro. So I need her to stay on whatever she on right now. And Kim Mulkey, this is a message to you. Please put Grace Knox in the game, bro. Leave her in the game when she was hooping. We can't keep taking her out, bro. She was the MVP of the game. I know MK went crazy, but Grace Knox was MVP of the game. Kovar and number one, they they just big, bro. They don't got no heart like Grace Knox. Grace Knox got the heart, bro. Please play Knox. Put it in.
She bought the energy for sure.
You say they just big, bro?
They just big. They just big.
Okay. Shout out to LSU, man. I will say these are the type of wins or type of games that Kim Mulkey usually finds a way to mishandle. But in this situation, we ended up getting a dub. So shout out to that. I will say, man, they was hustling. This would seem like a game that they really wanted, and they really needed it, to be honest, considering some of the losses that they had. And I will say, I got to give them credit. I'm gonna save my praise for Michaela Williams later, but I will say the team definitely they made plays when they needed to make them. Shout out to my Laser Full Wiley for a lot of the plays that she was making, really just setting up the table for everybody. This is a build on win, in my opinion. You don't just stop with this type of win. You're supposed to beat these type of teams, in my opinion. So that's all I got to say. But sticking with basketball, man, it's a lot of news, a lot of people wanting to go to different places, man. Two of the biggest things that came out during this past week, Trae Young being traded to the Washington Wizards, and the Grizzlies being open to trading Ja Morant. What are y'all two quick thoughts on that, man?
I mean, Trae Young's time in Atlanta kind of ran its course. I don't feel like they were ever going to be a championship contender with him there. I feel like they reached their ceiling as well. So I wasn't surprised to see him get traded. It was the destination that he chose to go to. Like out of all places, you want to go to Washington. I thought you would wanted to go to like a contender or something. But in his words, he said he feel like he can help build something in Washington and be that centerpiece. And I know that one of the executives that work in Washington now, he was a part of the front office when they drafted Trae Young in Atlanta. So maybe that played a role in it as well. But I just thought Trae Young would have wanted to go to a contender before he chose the Wizards, but he chose the Wizards. So we're gonna see how that pans out for him. As far as Grizzlies open the trade and Ja, I told y'all at the beginning of the season, I told y'all that this probably was gonna happen because I just seen the way that Ja and the new coach was interacting. Like he wasn't a fan of them getting rid of Taylor Jenkins last year, and then they turn around and they keep the interim coach. And at the beginning of the season, him and the interim coach wasn't really gelling. The interim coach wasn't really playing Ja in critical moments of the game, and Ja was calling the coach out publicly. So I kind of knew that this was gonna happen. It's gonna be interesting to see where he goes for sure. Where they're gonna send him to. I don't really know where he would fit good at though. That's the only thing. That's my only thing. Like I don't know where he would fit good at, but like I said, I told y'all it was coming, and here we are talking about Ja about to get traded from the Grizzlies.
With Trae Young, firstly, his career is over with. He don't want to be a winner. They're not gonna win any rings. I'm just being real, bro. He just want to put up points and that's it. He would just want to build his resume. Nah, he can't build his resume no more. He's over with. He's not going to playoffs no more. The Wizards are done. Yeah. He wanted to go to Washington for a reason. I don't know. He don't want to go to a contender. Yeah, it's over with Trae. No more ice Trae. We're just getting Trae Young now. Everybody. So hate to see that for him. He just want to hoop, bro. He just want to play. He just want to go out there and have fun. He don't want to win. That's what it is, bro. Now, what Ja? It's very sad for me to see this, but I saw it coming. But I just think he need to change the scenery, bro. Now Fitz, I think Braxton might not like this, but I think he will fit real good with the Rockets. When they need a point guard, a true point guard that brings some elusiveness and can get the guys riled up, because they don't really have besides KD, they don't really have a closer or like a go-to guy in the clutch. Sengun tries to be there, but I don't think he is that guy for that. I think he's a great piece to build around. I think KD the closer and Amen is a guy that you need for like they do it all kind of guy. They got guys, but I think Ja would definitely take that to another level. But if not the Rockets, I also could see him teaming up with Ant. I think him and Ant would be crazy. But I don't know how that would trade pieces. I don't know how that would work, but I would love him and Nas Reed core. That would be crazy to me.
That would be kind of crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I was taken aback by your take on Trae Young, man. Like, he said his career over, man. The dude like 20, what, 27, 28? Like,
Yeah, bro.
he ain't even old. I mean, what are you saying, man? Like, the dude got a long career ahead of him. And I think a big reason why he went to this team maybe was because they probably got a lot of cap space, bro. Like, they probably can make a move. They
Who
probably
coming
can
to
get
Washington,
somebody.
bro?
With Trae Young there,
Nobody want to play when he's not a winner. He can't stay on the court, bro. He's not a
he
winner.
not a winner. He not a winner, but he's led his team to the conference finals multiple times. They just ain't been to the big game because he ain't had nobody else to come with him. Let's be honest. It was a while ago, but Trae Young's still the same guy.
No, he's clearly not. Clearly not.
Okay. Well, either way, Trae Young, I wish you success in Washington. I understand, why he wouldn't want to just go to a team that's already set up. You want to kind of get the guys that he want to come play with, kind of build his own situation. So I understand that. With Ja, you say coming to the Rockets, I don't need that issue. I don't need it. But I do think, I'm proud of the Grizzlies. Man, don't put up with this foolishness. Go ahead and get on, send them somewhere else, and go get something back that you know is gonna be consistent, gonna come every day and go play. I'm proud of the Grizzlies. Get rid of Ja Morant.
We know you don't like keeping guys around too long. If they ain't doing good for you, get them gone.
No, that's not the case.
You happy to ship them off. That's you, right? You don't care. No loyalty. It's about what you can do for me now. That's how Braxton is.
I can deal with bad play. I can deal with bad play. I can't deal with off the court stuff, bro. Are you gonna be here to play or not? And
you can't
all that
other
stuff.
Bro. Okay. You don't like being there when times get hard, bro. You want everything to be good all the time. Okay. You finna be calling your boy to be gone in a minute.
Who?
Sengun. You finna say, is he the problem?
Yeah, man, I don't know who the Rockets got other than KD when Sengun not there, but they need to step it up.
Yeah, and that's the only reason why I'm not against. Only reason we know why he's saying that because he lost his money, but the only reason I say that I agree partially with some of the things you said. Maybe not Ja, but maybe another point guard for sure. Because we've been dropping some games lately that we shouldn't.
Well, back-to-back games to the Blazers.
Hey, well, Sengun didn't play the first one, so.
He didn't
play the second one. Yeah, so we can't count those. But we did lose to
the Blazers, man. Y'all still got Kevin Durant, Amen Thompson,
Reed. Don't do that. Reed he had 6 points yesterday, Braxton. It's a number. You weren't blowing the boot your ass today. He had 6 points. What was that about?
Okay, bro, but he's a good player though.
He a bench player.
Well. Okay.
Yeah.
He can go for 20.
They call that boy a bench.
Austin Reed's an all-star. Future all-star. He would never be that.
Hey, but you say it many times on this podcast. Don't count it till it's in your hand, bro. He ain't in the All-Star game yet, bro. So let's not give him stuff that he ain't got yet.
Hey, the odds for him to make it before Reed is 1 million.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll see if he make it.
He won't. Yo guy won't. He won't even sniff it.
All right, man. Let's move on to the Black Spotlight, bro.
He bad now. All right, y'all. Time for the best part of the show with the Black Spotlight. For my Blacks, I start off, with the hottest team in the league. I keep it there with my boy, my last name Kirk, man. Christian Kirk, man. He had a hell of a day, man. He stepped up. He had his coming out game this year. That was his coming out game. Now we need him to step up and keep it rolling because we gonna be with our number one guy. So we need him to be our number one guy, as well as my rookie Higgs and Hutch and Noel. We need them all to step up, to fill that void we're gonna have with Nico being out. So, giving his flowers and Black Spotlights to Christian Kirk this week. Shout out to you, bro. Who you got, John?
Hey, man, this week, man, I'm going with Malachi Tony, bro, a.k.a. Baby Jesus, man, from the Miami Hurricanes football team, number 10, the receiver, man. He just so electric, bro, so dynamic. He could do it all. He could catch the ball, play receiver. They could line him up in a wildcat. He could throw a little bit. They put him in. They use him all different ways, man. And again, in that game against Ole Miss, he came up big on that screen pass, bro. He broke like 17 tackles and got to the end zone and did his thing, man. And so they call him Baby Jesus, and I see why, man. He gonna make it happen, bro. So shout out to him. keep balling, man, and I hope y'all much success in the national championship game, dog. I wasn't gonna say I hope y'all win, but I'm gonna say much success.
Man, shout out to all y'all's black spotlights. Definitely. I will say this. I told y'all earlier. I said I was gonna save my black spotlight, or not my black spotlight. I'll save my praise for later, and that was because my black spotlight this week is Michaela Williams. Man, she is definitely a true professional scorer, professional as just a player. Not getting too high, not getting too low, being able to close in moments for the games, for when the game really calls for it. And I feel like she had a great game against Texas, hit a big shot to kind of just seal the game. And this is the type of performances that we want to see from her on a regular basis, and the type of performances that she's very capable of. So shout out to Michaela Williams, man. That's my black spotlight this week.
Yes, sir. Shout out MK. Shout out my boy.
Great black spotlights, fellas. Before we get out here, man, I just want to say one thing. It does kind of scare me that we not talking about South Carolina enough. Like, they've been flying under the radar, bro, which kind of scares me a little bit. So I know Texas is going out there to play them on Thursday night. I would definitely be tuned into that game because I want to see how that's going to play out. I ain't watched South Carolina at all this year, so I want to see their team because they've been flying under the radar. People ain't been talking about them much, but we shall see, man. But hey, man, that's all we got for y'all today. We hope y'all enjoyed a little long podcast, man, because we had a lot to talk about this week with the wild card games. As always, man, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe to the Welcome to the World of Sports podcast on YouTube. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, man. They down there on the ticker, man. And until next time, we hope that y'all stay blessed and keep it locked right here to the Welcome to the World of Sports podcast, man. We out. Appreciate y'all.